It has been a hot minute since we got any kind of an update on what the hell is going on with 2XKO. And given that this is probably the fighting game that is going to come the closest to getting me to actually get into fighting games, I've been impatient, to say the least, to see some kind of movement happening there. So seeing that now they've dropped an hour-long goddamn update detailing all of the gameplay updates they've made in the last 6 months. Yeah, you know what? I figure, fuck it. Let's do... I have no idea how long this video is going to be if I'm reacting to a full hour of whatever the hell they've got going on. You know how yappy I can get, but fuck it. I've got the day. It's not like I have any important work that I'm definitely procrastinating from right now. Let's just see what they've been cooking.
Hey everyone, it's Tom here. I'm here with Sean and Clock for a dev update on 2XKO. Last month, we announced that we're revisiting our plans for Alpha Lab 2. And after that, we know you had a lot of questions. You wanted to know what we've been working on ever since our first Alpha Lab last August. So in this video, we're gonna catch you up. We'll go over all the big gameplay changes since Alpha Lab 1 and walk you through our newest champion, Jinx, and finish off with the dev show match.
Ooh, new skins. So that one, the Echo one there, I believe that's modeled after he has a... Doesn't he have like a Sand Bandit skin that was like his launch skin? Hang on. Let me just... Collection. You have... Yeah, Sandstorm Echo. Right, but that skin has much more of like a blue color scheme to it, which, okay, interesting. So this seems like kind of like modeled on that, but I mean, I guess each individual skin would also have like 4 or 5 different color variations just in case you get a mirror match, which is probably quite likely, especially early on. Then there's that Illaoi skin. It's not a huge reskin of the character, right? Like, she still has the Nagakeboro's idol looking much like a Nagakeboro's idol. She doesn't have her tattoos anymore, and she has like the... I guess it's sort of Ionian Illaoi kind of vibe they're going for there. That she's like maybe from the Hirana monastery where, like, with the blindfold on, it's kind of impossible not to see that as kind of a Lee Sin thing, right? So I guess that's what they're going for there. Interesting. I'd love to see the other color variations of these things. This does seem like the Echo skin, I think, is making some pretty substantial changes to his costume. Not so much to his silhouette, but to the costume. This one feels like probably one of the cheaper cosmetics if it doesn't change the idol. I feel like any good Illaoi skin must change the idol, right? Like into something, because it's like half of her character.
First, let's talk about how Alpha Lab 2 fits into our overall development plan. Until now, the focus has been getting our core gameplay right by building and testing demos of the game at events like EVO and Combo Breaker. And your feedback here has really helped keep us on track. At this point, we're feeling pretty confident about the core game, and so we're entering a new stage of development and shifting our focus to the mountain of surrounding work that it takes to launch a really great game.
Yeah, so like I don't know enough about fighting games to have strong opinions on any of the stuff that happened in those matches. Like, Yasuo clearly did some kind of parry thing, rotate in the air, gain a power-up state, and then attack Jinx or something. What exactly that means in fighting game terms, I have no idea. Like, the last time I played a fighting game seriously, and it was, like, large air quotes seriously, that was Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on, like, the PlayStation 1 on a PlayStation controller, right? With my friends in the living room. We were kids. That's the most recent, like, real experience of playing, like, because we were playing it every day, right? Like, I felt like I got pretty good, although I am entirely convinced that I absolutely did not.
Stuff like back-end servers, improving matchmaking, localization, and UI. Alpha Lab 2 was intended to be a larger scale playtest on the road to launch, but as we were putting it together, we found our...
Oh yeah, they did the social hub thing as well, which seems pretty directly lifted from what other fighting games have been doing, which that's not a criticism. But I gotta say, I don't love the look of the avatars that are available. Like, these just seem like incredibly generic, the most boring possible kind of avatar you can have. Which, as a design, like, compare and contrast with Street Fighter 6 and, like, the legendary character creator that game has and, like, the sheer amount of expression that allows for you in a character. They've gone with something much, much more, like, generic, much more every emoji system that any company has like, put on their custom systems in years. Like, Xbox had that, right? Like, they had that custom kind of avatar you made that like looked incredibly generic and kind of bland and cartoony, like with very little personality, and like everyone sort of had the same proportions kind of up. Even they had like more types of bodies than this. Like this, as an avatar system, this looks real fucking boring. Like, I'm gonna need to see some body types. I'm gonna need to see some better costume options. I'm gonna need to see some options for species. Like, because if you can only be a human, like, you gotta at least be able to make your avatar a Yordle, right? You gotta at least be able to make your avatar a Yordle. You gotta be able to make it a Vastaya. Like, you gotta be able, like, at least the species that are present within Runeterra, within League of Legends, you gotta be able to, like, it can't just be a bunch of painfully generic semi-anime looking humans running around. That's pathetic. If this avatar social space is meant to be like a major part of the game, then yeah, I cannot be bothered. Okay, so what do we got? Controls, gameplay variety and decision making, player agency, visual clarity, then a long segment on Jinx, and then the show match. Okay.
Intended to be a larger scale playtest on the road to launch, but as we were putting it together, we find ourselves having to make some short-term trade-offs that could end up ultimately delaying the launch of the game. So we've decided to downsize that test in the spirit of getting the full game out to everyone as soon as we can.
I
We're
wouldn't.
still planning a large-scale playtest close.
I kind of get that. Like, it's game development, right? You're always making that impossible trade-off between spending more time on the game, hoping to make it better, versus getting the game into the hands of people and then getting only knows how much feedback and data that you can use to like actually improve the game more substantially. So like I kind of understand the decision that they want to get it out as soon as possible, especially since 2XKO has been kind of long in development and a lot of people are very impatient to actually see the game become playable. I would, if like, give it, like, with the caveat that I am not remotely in a position to know all of the information about it, I would prefer that a game be delayed rather than get pushed out just for the sake of like getting it out as soon as possible. Like that's slightly worrying to me. Is that, and it's also kind of like, because in the context of Riot's history, Riot, to their credit, does have a long history of postponing, canceling, pushing back things when they don't feel like they're ready for the public yet. Like when Riot doesn't feel like a game is ready to ship, when they don't feel like a game is ready to actually be played and used in the public, they do have a good track record of pushing that shit back or canning it or putting it in an icebox or like rebooting the whole thing from scratch. They did it with the MMO, right? They do have a good record of that. And it's one of the few things I still kind of respect about like the company's corporate structure, is that it still has the flexibility and like the foresight to do those kinds of things rather than rush product to market. So I'm a little, like, it's a slightly unusual move for Riot to be like, fuck, okay, we're rushing this to market, guys. We're getting this out there right now. Slightly unusual. I don't know if that's something to worry about. Probably the pipeline for producing a fighting game has its own uniqueness and strangeness relative to the process of producing any other kind of game. But yeah, who knows? It just pings my mind as like slightly worrying.
To the actual launch, and as we dial in the details, we'll continue to put the game together and keep you in the loop. Since we know you're itching for news, for the entire rest of this video, we're just going to show you all the things we've been working on ever since Alpha Lab 1. You ready? Let's go.
All right, so I want to talk about the first of the four areas, gameplay and control simplicity. So we just received a lot of feedback that inputs felt confusing, inconsistent, and that there's actually some that overlapped and you're trying to do one thing, but you got the wrong outcome. So what we did was we took a look at the controls and the gameplay, and we simplified and consolidated a lot of these things. I'm gonna start with the first one, launchers and anti-airs. So if you remember before in Alpha Lab 1, down heavy was your anti-air and down forward heavy was your launcher. And this is pretty confusing. So what we did was we made it so that just down heavy is your launcher that has anti-air properties. So go ahead and jump in the clock. You're able to have a little invincibility there, and you can follow up with a combo, which is great.
So one of the things that's always kept me out of fighting games was like the classic thing, the intimidation at the perceived complexity of the damn thing, right? Like you look at these fucking maps of inputs, like down forward, back forward, like light heavy, like stall, hold, like all these fucking inputs, these input maps that I would see posted around from people like sharing guides. Like I would look up how to play fighting game guides, right? Like basic for beginners, and it would still just be like, oh, here's like 40 pages of notation, and also you need to know all of these terms. That has always been kind of the thing that keeps me away from fighting games, right? It's always been the strength of Smash, that it's just like the forward smash button and like neutral smash button and up smash, like very simple, very sort of manageable controls. It's one of the things that got me quite excited about Street Fighter 6 is that they had the modern control scheme. I've been playing some Street Fighter 6 actually to like try out fighting games, and like the modern control scheme to me feels a lot more manageable to deal with than trying to actually learn the intricacies of fighting game notation and what this fucking genre is actually built around. So simplified controls for me is like, oh, cool, simpler. Yes, good, thank you. Like more simple, more like just direction and one button, please. I would like that. I'm a dum-dum. At least the option for simplified controls versus complex controls like Street Fighter 6 is doing, that's certainly something that I would appreciate in a game like 2XKO.
This is also your launcher. So there's no more launcher plus anti-air as separate things. And you notice that some characters that had one, or the other, they just remain with one. But characters like Darius and a few others, we actually kept that move on their kit with a different input. So this button for Darius used to be his anti-air. This is now forward and heavy, so you can still use it for pressure and combo routes and things like that. I also want to talk about sweeps and overheads. So before, the input for overhead used to be forward and medium, and we got a lot of feedback that people were like, hey, I'm running after people and I'm trying to hit medium to start pressure or combo, but I'm actually getting my overhead, and it didn't feel very good. So there are now characters that have overheads, they're now on down, forward, and medium, and we're trying to consolidate that, as well as sweep is down, forward, heavy. So anybody that has a sweep, it's on down, forward, heavy.
Right, so sweep is like a knockdown. Okay. An overhead would be the one you use to break a crouch block, I assume.
Simplification. Forward plus team to call your forward assist, especially out of block, was a little bit of a struggle because sometimes you would get push block and then, lose a bar, and it just wasn't very intuitive with how you'd want to pressure folks. So now, you just press team, that does your old forward assist. Just like before, holding back and hitting team, that does your back assist.
Right, defensive,
like,
okay.
Well, hey, how do I do tag launcher? Because I used to press team for that. Well, we wanted to make it consistent and easy to remember. If down and heavy is your launcher with anti-air properties, then down and team is your tag launcher. And so those are pretty consistent now and easy to remember.
Okay, interesting.
In Alpha Lab 1, used to be able to hold forward plus team or hold back plus team to get a charge assist or a running assist. We removed that from the game except for in sidekick fuse, which is a new fuse I'll talk about in a bit.
Oh, right, fuses. Fuses are... I had to catch myself up. Fuses are like the little augments or whatever you equip before the match, right? Like that sort of alter your playstyle. I think that's what that is. Okay.
But the reason we removed it was it actually led to some pretty stale gameplay across all teams. Where you sit full screen, you hold forward or back plus team, you send your assist across, and you see what happens. If it hit, you handshake tag and you do a big combo. If they blocked it, you handshake tag and you do pressure. If they jump, you handshake tag and then you jump and air throw or launch or anti-air. And then they're like, well, I'm just gonna hit the assist. Well, then you punish them with your point for hitting it. So on top of that too, it actually allowed for a lot of follow-ups that we really didn't intend for. And it just...
There's some interesting... I'm sorry, I'm just getting stuck looking at the animations.
You do a big combo. If they blocked it, you handshake tag and you do pressure. If they jump,
let me just see that Jinx bit again.
Or anti-air, and then they're like, well, I'm just going to hit the assist. Well, then you punish them with your point for hitting it. So on top of that...
So the Jinx walk cycle, the way the animations snap... Oh, that's... Hang on, I really like the way she comes down from that jump. I like that. That's a nice little move. Like, she's up, hitting the peak, right? Like, sort of suspending the anti-gravity as she comes down. Normally you would sort of keep the legs together and like land on them. You've had like that structure behind it in order to achieve like a solid landing. That's what a martial artist would do. I really do like that Jinx is like she's landing with all her weight theoretically on that foot, and she like kicks the leg out just a little bit. That has a lot of personality to it. And then yeah, she lands in like the knock-kneed anime girl thing. What I'm interested in is the snapping of the animations. Like this, for example. The way these animations snap without any... Like, without any setup, without follow-through. We snap from one action to another. That's the kind of thing that works in anime fighters, right? That works in 2D fighters when you like working with sprite work or fighting games that very closely mimic sprite work, like the Arxis, like Dragon Ball Fighters and so on. That works there because it sort of mimics the way that like you swap from one sprite to another in order to like, because you're not working with 3D models. But because these are 3D models, because there's so much overlapping action, so much follow through, so much like 3-dimensional motion and movement on the models, I do feel like and I don't know, like, does Street Fighter look this way as well? It probably does to some extent, but this snapping without even a single frame of like either anticipation or transition or anything. Like, I'm at 60 FPS right now, so like this is an instant snap. It's probably necessary for gameplay, right? Like that the character instantly be in a given position, because whether the character is crouching or standing, that influences like how they can block and so on. Like, and it influences what your movements are going to have to be for the purposes of the game. But I do find, like, especially on Jinx, like some of the other characters I feel like have slightly easier transitions, but Jinx's walk cycle especially, the way she transitions to this like marching walk that she has, like it, the way it breaks the silhouette, especially because of fish bones on her back, right? The way her silhouette just completely snaps is, I don't know about that, man. Like, aesthetically, and again, I don't know, like, this might just be necessary for the gameplay of a fighting game, but the way that this stuff snaps like that, and like, I think it's also aided, like, I think another part of what's making it so uncanny to me is that Jinx's hair is physics objects, right? Like, Jinx's hair is doing all kinds of physics simulation bits, so it reacts to this snapping. Right, you can see as she gets up from the crouch, the hair reacts by by following behind a little bit after. It takes care of trying to be that follow through. It takes care of trying to be that overlapping motion. But because most of the animations are fairly like mechanical in their conception, like they are not really made with a bunch of physics engine simulation on the model. They are snapping from animation to animation to animation in the way that 2D sprites do. But the hair isn't following that. Like, the hair isn't instantly transitioning. The hair is just doing its sort of simulated physics bit and sort of slowly sliding into place with each change of motion that she does. Something about that,
We really didn't.
It just feels uncanny. And it's kind of the same thing with, like, Jinx's forward walk is this skipping animation, right? This snap, when I see it in motion,
Top of that too, it actually allowed for a lot of follow-ups that
like that harsh snap between walking motion and standing pose. It's too much on Jinx specifically. That's way too much. That feels very, very, like, I don't know. Again, I don't know if this affects fighting games at all. I don't know if that's something that matters for the purposes of gameplay or whatever, which is probably the main thing that they care about. But I see that and I kind of go, like that's distracting. That doesn't feel cohesive to me. I should take a look at some of the other characters. Like,
really didn't intend for, and it just started to make kits a little bit more homogenized than we like. I'll give you an example, like Darius S2,
yeah, because like
knocks you really far away.
Darius, like when he
and you jump in air throw or launch, hitting it. So and it S2 make kits a little bit more homogenized than we like. I'll give you an example.
Like, Darius snaps from standing into his dashing, right? But there is a transition frame here, right? Like, you can see it doesn't snap quite as instantly as the Jinx does. There's a transition frame. Like, he anticipates the motion before he goes into it. And as he stops, right? Like, we get this little... And I guess that's because it's this dash, right? Like, I'm sure this shit matters to frame data and shit like that, that a big, heavy character like Darius maybe has a little bit more acceleration and deceleration to sort of make up for his power or whatever. Probably that's a consideration, but just the fact that we get that little stop frame and then we snap to the next pose. Like, Darius's motion and movement feels much less sudden in the way that it transitions.
Knocks you
Because like I'm sure in a fighting game, there's always
and run across the screen and follow up. And so it far away, you know, outside of the corner.
like there's definitely some snapping happening with Darius here and there, like here to there. There's definitely a snap happening, right? Like the cloak switches from one side to the other. But that's the other thing, like unlike Jinx's hair, which seems to like try and simulate physics and sort of follow and dangle around, Darius's cloak doesn't seem to do that. It seems to switch in the same way that it would if it was a 2D sprite. I also like the switch between these two better, because like you have this continuity of the shoulder pauldron that sort of keeps the center of the character consistent across the two flips. Like, it's still a sudden snap, but it, damn it, it feels better than the Jinx one. Okay.
You could just hold it and run across the screen and follow up. And so, again, it made a lot of the situations and outcomes pretty similar. So we're excited to separate.
Hang on, wait, that looked different.
The S2 knocks you really far away, you know, outside of the corner. But with charge assist, you could just hold it and run across the screen and follow up.
Yeah, this video is going to be really long.
And so,
okay, hang on. What was that? Yeah, see here, now, okay, so when she goes into her dash, she does have a transition. Like, she has a little tiny itty-bitty bit of anticipation, right? Like, these few frames when she drops anticipates the motion, and that kind of smooths the transition. Okay, so that does apply on the dash. And I'm glad to see that she does have a settling animation into her idle. I still don't like the physics engine-ness of, like, I genuinely, with Jinx, I'm coming to the conclusion that I think instead of letting the hair be physics objects, they should hand animate them, frame to frame. Like, they should hand animate them rather than try and physics simulate them more. Because I think... yeah, more like that. Like it's a mixture. Like I'm not sure when exactly they hand animate, when they don't. Because like here on her floating spinny kick here, they definitely, like, the way the pigtails, the braids, follow into her spinning motion there, anticipate and set it up, definitely looks handcrafted. And the way that they stick around in the air here, that's definitely frozen, like, by keyframe. But then there are other times when it does not feel like they're behaving like keyframe animation. I don't know. Yeah, it's just a few of the transitions on Jinx, especially.
So we're excited to separate that out a little bit.
Have felt...
looking at the next section.
Yeah, like, when she snaps into that walking animation, man. I don't think that works. I think the animators need to give that one another pass. I don't know.
Super input simplification.
There you go.
There we go. We got there. We heard a lot of feedback around down being a struggle on some peripherals in particular, but even on ones that folks were mixed about. So we removed that as the input for supers and now made it a lot easier. Now the input is hitting any normal plus special. So for super 1, you hit, I can do S1 plus L, and that will go ahead and do the super for Darius. But you notice I can do any normal with this S1 to get that super. So I can do M plus S1. I can do S1 plus, H. They all give me that S1 super.
Ooh. Sean, what about S2?
I'm trying not to, we're 5 minutes in and I've been recording for what, 20 minutes or something? Oh yeah, 20 minutes. I'm trying not to make this longer than it already is, but oh, I'm seeing some of those animations. I should have made this an animation breakdown instead of a reaction, shouldn't I? Huh?
Super. Oh yeah, S2 super. Same thing. So you hit S2 plus any normal button. So S2 plus L gives me that S2 super. S2 plus M, same thing, and then S2 plus H. This is important for us because, one, it's a struggle, we know, to do like down on analog sticks.
Yeah.
But two, like, you might have your button set up on your peripheral in a way where one normal might be better positioned to hit with that special than a different one. So we really want you to have, like, the best way to get these things out.
That's another thing. Like, I've never had a specialized fighting game peripheral, right? Like, I've never had a fight stick. I've never had, like, the little button board that they're sitting with there. I've never had that. So for me, it's always been, like, either using a D-pad or using, like, an analog stick on a controller, which, like, for fighting game inputs are, I would say, imperfect methods of input. They've always felt clunky to me anyway. Like doing stuff like down down on an analog stick is like getting that to register as two separate inputs rather than just one continuous wiggle. That's
and that's, yeah, so it should be pretty straightforward and easy. Also, want to talk a little bit about Ultimate.
yeah, Yasuo. No, fuck the animation.
S1 plus S2.
I was about to talk about Yasuo's animation snapping.
That does your ultimate now. You may have noticed just here that they cost 3 bars now. This is pretty important because we really wanted to make them feel impactful and a little bit rare. And so when you see them, you know they hit. We've adjusted the damage accordingly as well. And also, we also adjusted meter gain. And then I want to talk a little bit about happy birthdays.
What?
Specifically, I know some of you, myself included, may have been in Alpha Lab. You got this happy birthday, clock's 9 over here, and you know, one of the characters falls out. And if it's their point character and they punish you while you're still doing the combo, you're like, why did I get punished for hitting both of their characters at once? What is happening here? So we reduced global hit pause and made some key adjustments to counter hit pause as well in order to remove some of those cases where the happy birthday would just drop unexpectedly. And to a similar effect, assists no longer enter the battlefield if the point champions hit before the assist lands.
Okay, so going by context clues, the happy birthday is when you give your opponent a present by sending in your assist in a way that they can easily counter it and hit you as well. That's just, context clues seem to suggest that it's when you call in your assist and then your opponent gets to hit both you and the assist at the same time, would be a happy birthday. Am I right about that? Tell me in the comments.
Actually make combos a little bit shorter and made the game feel quite a bit faster. One other thing I want to talk about here too was parry. So we heard a lot of pain around parrying a physical attack and then accidentally getting another parry afterwards, causing you to not only whiff that parry, but lose that meter and then get punished by your opponent. You're like, hey, this is a sharp reversal of fortune. Can we not do that? And so, yeah, so we took that out, of course. On physical hit, I'll go ahead and parry it. Finally, we increased input consistency in various advanced situations, like when you're double tapping and character canceling. So folks that were using those techniques should find things a lot more consistent.
Okay, so all this control stuff is kind of over my head, I gotta say.
We made some changes to fuses and other core gameplay systems, you know, based on a lot of stuff that we heard. And I actually kind of wanted to talk a little bit about new fuses and Pulse. Starting a little bit with Pulse, folks had a lot of really great feedback around it. You know, you may
I've just noticed Jinx has the sapper meter, which presumably governs how much she can use certain ones of her abilities. Oh, that's interesting.
I've seen, you know, the message I shot out last month, you know, talking about, hey, that fact that's not a fuse anymore, and more specifically, folks wanted to pair it with like other fuses in the game, especially when they're duoing and bringing their friend onto their team. They still wanted to use a fuse, but maybe have their friend use Pulse while they didn't use it. We actually have it as a toggle in Champ Select. Anybody can turn it on and off at that moment and try it out. So let us know what you think. So let's get into Champ Select. Luckily,
surely they're launching with more than this, though, right? Like, because that's 7 characters. If it's a 2v2 fighter, you'd want at least 8, but ideally you'd want a lot more given how many characters are in League of Legends.
Remember is the last selection. So I'll go Yasuo. Go Darius. So you notice here at the bottom, it says Pulse Combo. So any of us can hit this button. You see at the top, the old Pulse icon appears, and that means that you have Pulse enabled. And, you know,
interesting art direction for Jinx in the artwork there. Again, I don't really understand much of what they're talking about here. I was kind of hoping this would be more of a general update, but clearly they're talking to like the fighting game heads. Interesting art direction on Jinx's face here. Jinx usually has been it depends. Like post Arcane, a lot of things have changed about her, obviously, but her face especially has classically, like before Arcane, certainly, it was portrayed as much sharper, like much less of like a sharp jawline, like rounder, more pointed chin. They've definitely gone with more adult-looking facial proportions for her, where she has always had like a little bit of Jinx's character design has always been that childlikeness that's in her, right? Like that the somewhat too large eyes, the big mouth, the slightly tiny nose, right? That was sort of always a part of Jinx's character design, is that she has these adult body proportions, but a little bit of a childish face to sort of match the vibe of her being like kind of a silly character. I guess post-Arcane, they're sort of leaning more towards, and certainly with 2XKR, and that also kind of seems to be the case with other characters. Like Echo looks aged up a little bit to better match Arcane as well. I should maybe take it... I wonder if this art has been released. Maybe it's on the wiki somewhere. I should take a look at that at some point and like check over to see like the character design changes that they made for 2XKO. That might be a good video.
Just as a reminder, Pulse, will let you mash light, medium, or heavy.
One of the things I note about Jinx's face, though, is that...
And they'll go into, like, a short combo, and if you have the meter, it'll do a super. There's still...
Like, for all that, like, this face seems to have a slightly different structure than the one on the model? The one on the model still feels a little bit sharper with slightly larger eyes visually. Okay. There's probably a video in there.
Much better combos to do out there, but it's a really great start if you want to get in there and have a good time and start to learn the flow of what these characters can do.
We also made a small change to Pulse in which we still wanted you to be able.
Okay, again, I don't really know about all of these high level things, so
some changes designed to increase the fun uptime and reduce the amount of time you spend trapped in the corner, getting comboed, etc., etc. So first up, let's talk about dynamic save. We're now calling dynamics.
I'm just skipping past all of this stuff because that seems like high-level fighting game stuff that I don't really know how to comment on.
Save break, and
Thank you.
The hitbox now gets bigger over time, and then blocking break is easier to combo from. So yeah. Hey. You also get 50% break meter after a champion dies. Why? Well, we saw and heard that how hard it was to make a comeback. So even when folks were evenly skilled, it's hard to make a comeback. As a result, we removed Fury as a fuse and now have a new system called Fury Break. It shows up in some of the new fuses. So when a champion dies, you gain 50% break meter and becomes Fury Break, which gives you a 25% damage boost and a 25% damage reduction.
Interesting.
It's the same way as you activate break by pressing S1 or S2 plus the team button. Of course, if you're playing duos, then your duo does that for you. There are several types of Fury Break activation. So Sean's doing
that's what that is. That's a Fury Break activation. So offensive or defensive, it's a kind of comeback mechanic, partly, but it's something you can kind of
combo. It does a wall bounce, and you get, it allows for follow-up, so you can end your combo with it to increase your damage, or do it at the beginning of the combo to increase your damage. The bonuses that you get, so like the damage reduction and the damage boost, it allows for 10 seconds when you do it offensively. Similarly, if you do it defensively, you get those same bonuses. So you can Fury Break here. Yeah. So similarly, Sean has Fury Break activated right now, also lasts 10 seconds. The big difference is that if he does it in neutral, so if he doesn't do it offensively or defensively, just does it in neutral, the bonus actually lasts for 20 seconds.
Oh, okay, so there's some decisions you can make about like how you want to apply that thing. But of course, like finding a free space to do that neutrally is probably going to be like your opponent is going to want to pressure you because you're okay, that looks cool. Like I do like that there's some kind of a comeback mechanic in there, right? Like that the game hands you a little olive branch and says, "Hey, here's some resources. Try and see if you can save this."
Combo and that also means you can't use it to save yourself. So that's the sort of trade-off.
Sure. One of the great things about Fury Break is when you're in that Fury state, you can dash cancel, and it removes 5 seconds off the clock. So after your remaining time, rather. And so I'll go ahead and show you.
That's like half the time
you
of
can dash cancel
the aggressive,
any special or normal, as long as you have it left on.
Okay, so Fury Break would allow you in terms of like you can start trying to do one combo, dash cancel, then try and do something else if your opponent is kind of reading you or whatever, or yeah. Okay, that's probably quite powerful.
Hit or block, which is really powerful. And so I'll show you like some fun stuff. Let's see if Clock can block this.
Well, clearly he can't.
Oh my.
So
yeah, I would have blocked the second part.
There's a lot of would-haves. No, you would have blocked it. So it's kind of the idea of like, hey, you're in this Fury state. It's still similar. We call it Fury Break. It's still similar. Like it works like a combo breaker. You can still.
Is it the same on all? Like Yasuo activates it by like spinning in the air, and then like doing some. Do they all just spin in the air? I want to see Alawi spin in the air like that. I want to see Braum just like rotate 360 in the air like that.
To, like get them off of you and have a little bit of time. But hey, if you want to use this thing offensively,
because that looked like a very sort of simple keyframe, just like rotate 360. I hope they all have custom animation for it. Like I would hope that they all have custom animation for activating their Fury Break rather than everyone just spins 360. Although spinning everyone 360 would be very funny, especially if two people activated at like the same time.
If you want to like pressure, like if you just block, you know, like, sorry if I do this, you know, they're stuck there for a second. So like they have to guess now, like, and then, and so there's a lot of pressure that can be had. What it is when it comes down to Fury and Fury Break, I know again we showed like Juggernaut and Sidekick, and they start with it on because they only have those single champions up front. But in any other fuse like Double Down, you know, 2x assist, Freestyle, once your first champion dies, just remember you get that 50% Fury Break meter, and Fury Break is on. It's ready to go. Like once you decide to use it.
Okay,
Cool, so
interesting.
Let's talk about push block. You know, we got a lot of feedback in Alpha Lab 1 that push block was just not available enough. You know, it cost 1 bar, so the cost was pretty steep. And also, if you didn't have any meter, then you were just stuck and you couldn't push block at all. So now it no longer costs a bar of super meter. Now it's performed by pressing the team button while you are blocking. And if you are the assist, then the assist is the one responsible for the push block. We internally call this push assist. So this shares a cooldown with your assist. So and also allows you to handshake tag after a successful push assist.
Okay, cool. So push block is basically you're being pressured, and then in order to get out of that, you can like have your assist come in and like say fuck off, and okay.
So, you know, it's much more available now. You have to make a choice between, you know, calling your assist and offensive pressure versus defense. And if you're playing with a duo, your duo is responsible for protecting you from pressure.
Nice taunt.
Yeah, Tom, you know, you gotta help me out here when it comes to getting Sean off of me.
Well, let's see.
Hey.
Yeah, and then I can kind of keep the party going.
But then you won't have access to that if your assist is dead. Okay.
So AirTech, you know, we saw a lot of combos which were not, you know, real combos during Alpha Lab 1 since folks were not AirTeching, and holding a normal attack button while getting comboed was just really unintuitive. So we decided to make it occur automatically.
Clock, like this seems cool, but like say I do a combo and you AirTech back, right?
Yeah.
Can't I just like juggle you there like for a long time?
So what we've done to combat that is you can opt out of the automatic AirTech by holding down.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so we want to
Interesting.
prevent any sort of like checkmate situations and give you another option to protect against off.
That's an interesting approach. Like, again, I don't know enough about fighting games to have an interesting take on it, but like the idea of like air-teching would be like recover in the air and like move in some kind of direction, right? Like, or do something to break out of being in the falling state, right? So it's interesting, like, to make that automatic and take that control away from players, but rather give them the option to opt out rather than opt into it. That's interesting. I have no idea how that affects the game at all, but like just philosophically, this seems like an interesting thing to do.
Defense. But of course, if I'm holding down and Sean knows I'm holding down, he could just like launch me again or something, you know? He can just keep hitting me. Yeah,
It's great.
yeah. So not a real combo, but that's the sort of trade-off between, you know, air-teching and not air-teching.
We do take those though. We do take those.
So, you know, OTG changes in Alpha Lab 1, we heard a lot of feedback that, you know, it was pretty boring to end like a combo with an OTG, which in Alpha Lab 1, it forced the back roll, and then it really put you, you know, at your opponent's mercy to
Okay,
their
so
wake-up games, right? So
on the ground, as in your character is lying down and you have to do a get up thing. Okay.
now when you do a weak OTG on the ground, we give you the same suite of get up actions as we do for other knockdowns. Yeah, I can roll back.
Must be a faster way to knock her down.
And I can do my get up attack.
Okay.
Another one that we focused on was reducing combo length.
Thank you.
Combos were
Like,
too-
I remember Killer Instinct. Like, Killer Instinct was a thing that happened when I was of an age to be playing it. I remember playing Killer Instinct against a guy once, and then it's just like, oh, when's your combo going to be finished? Oh, next week. Okay, sure. Let me just go to class for 5 days. I'll come back when your combo's finished so I can watch myself like die.
too long or felt too long. We made a lot of adjustments with the goal of just like shortening them and the feel in general. So
That's another thing about fighting games, right? Like, I've always had the, like, long combos are cool, right? Like, it's really cool seeing a guy, like, just, like, juggling someone, smacking them. Like, infinites are cool. They're cool looking. They're hype moments if someone can, like, really, like, pull out, like, it's a way to demonstrate dominance over another player, right? Like, it's like, I got you, I fucking juggling you, 64 hit combo, all of that shit. Like, that's all very cool and all. But it's one of those things that to me, as someone who's not good at fighting games, but it also always felt discouraging to me as well. Like going into a game, trying to like test out something or learn something against someone else, and then just, oh yeah, I'm gonna spend like half the time in this match just watching myself get like pummeled with hits over and over and over and over again, and my health bar slowly ticking down. And that's been an aesthetic annoyance I've had with some fighting games, actually, is the ones when, like, the fighting games that really are focused on like doing many hits in a combo, that each individual hit just does nothing, right? Like each individual hit is like this tiny itty bitty insignificant chip off the health bar, where it feels like the characters are doing like 5 million flashy moves, but it also, those moves don't result in the kind of damage you'd expect from how impactful and powerful the animation is. Like there's this sort of, let's call it a Ludo narrative dissonance, just to annoy people out there. Sometimes it does feel to me like there is like this dissonance between how powerful the animation wants me to believe the maneuvers and actions of a character is versus how much like hitting that combo or doing those moves seem to actually change the game state. And again, gameplay balance and all, like balancing the amount of damage that a given character does, relative to the emotion, and the animators balancing how much damage does this move do versus how impressive it is. I'm sure that's a fucking difficult tightrope to walk, right? Like that's not an easy thing to do, but it is certainly a thing that I found myself getting annoyed by watching certain kinds of fighting games or playing them, that like, okay, like I pulled off, like I did 5 hits on this guy and I took off like barely a quarter of an inch of his health bar. But my moves looked really powerful, and then he does like some like 3-hit combo of something or other that doesn't look as impressive, but which nonetheless takes off way more than of my health bar, and that feels bad. Like that doesn't feel right? Like, because it's okay when you have like, what's the Guilty Gear character, the guy who Potemkin, right? Like the big robot metal man with the hat, with the helmet, who does like the jump up and like smash someone's back thing. Potemkin something. Potemkin Buster? Is that what it's called? That thing. Like, it's right. It is okay. It's good that move does like half of an opponent's health bar, like just chunks them the fuck down, because all of the animation, the character design, everything about the character works together to say, like, this is the thing, if you get hit by this, fuck you, right? Like, you're fucked. You're dead. You're a mother. Like, he's slow as shit, but if he gets you, you're dead. Like, that, narratively, that fits with what's going on. On the other hand, when you have a character like Yasuo who's slashing someone with a sword, and then it's like, oh, being slashed with a sword doesn't do anything, or being shot with a gun doesn't do anything, that feels bad. Because, like, I remember playing Tekken 2 and 3 back in the PlayStation days, and like getting a sword stab with Yoshimitsu was always so fucking satisfying, because it's you getting stabbed with a sword, right? It really hurts. It does a fuck ton of damage, and it should, right? Like, it's supposed to do an absolute fuck ton of damage because you're getting hit with a sword. You're getting stabbed, right? That was very satisfying. On the other hand, there are times like Soul Calibur games where like I just don't really feel the action that's on screen, because being like lacerated and blended to pieces with a million sword slashes all across your body doesn't really do anything to your health. Kind of the same problem I have with Mortal Kombat, right? That you have Mortal Kombat, which focuses so much on like, you do a combo and then you get this X-ray shot of like your jaw getting punched clean off and your brain exploding and like someone pulling your spleen out of your body, and then your character just kind of gets up and is fine, and it didn't actually take off that much of their health. And I've always found that kind of, there are many things about Mortal Kombat's aesthetic visuals that I just don't like, but that part where the game spends God knows how long just doing these gory cutscenes of you like devastating an opponent's like internal organs and shit, but then it doesn't really do that much damage on the health bar, and it also doesn't seem to have any lasting impact whatsoever on the opponent. That dissonance, to me, has always felt really lame. Like, that sucks. That feels like this shit doesn't matter. Like, oh wow, it's so gory, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You shattered your opponent's spine, tore out their kidney, and like disemboweled them. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that you did that, right? That annoys me. How the fuck did I get onto this tangent? What was I talking about in 2XKO? I don't remember how I got here.
For one, you can no longer call assists after a tag launcher. You can also no longer tag after performing a double down super or supers with both champions in one combo. As an example, in Alpha Lab 1, we were seeing combos with multiple double downs in them, and it was taking a very long time.
Oh, right. What I was trying to say is I appreciate the aesthetic decision being made here to like reduce the length of combos and like to reduce the number of hits. And what I was wondering was about like, okay, so how do you balance that? How do you balance shortening the combo with how much damage is the combo supposed to do, right? Like how much value does it feel like the player gets out of doing the short combo versus the long combo, right? Does the player feel disempowered because now that their combo is shorter, they can only do 5 hits instead of 14? They can only do like half the damage that they used to be able to do. Then you have to kind of up the damage to still make it feel satisfying. Like, I don't know. There's probably a complex balancing discussion to be had with game developers about exactly how the hell you manage that.
To reduce hit pause across the board, which we talked about a little earlier, but this really makes combos feel a lot shorter. It also makes the game feel a little bit faster as well.
I gotta say, like, again, instinctively, as someone who's not good at fighting games, I like the idea of shorter combos. Like, I like the idea of, okay, you get hit 4, 5, 6, 7 times, but it happens quickly, and then you can kind of, okay, now do the next thing, rather than, oh, you made one mistake? Well, get ready for Dr. Doom to just punch your face to pieces for the next 45 seconds, and you don't get to do anything. That feels better to me. Intuitively, it feels better to me if combos are shorter, so that, like, you make a mistake, you get punished, or your opponent does a good move, they get a victory, but it doesn't take for fucking ever. You're not stuck in that, like, in that misery for fucking ever. I feel like that is going to be more fun and exciting than waiting for a very long combo to go off.
I also want to talk a little bit about red health regeneration. There are a lot of games where like a champion would get damaged with a lot of remaining red health, and then once that red goes away, you see that gray there, and that gray is what actually heals up. People would just literally run away for a really long time, and a big factor in this was not just how easy it was to run away, but mainly just how long it took for that health to regenerate. We made a regenerate at a speed which just allows players to get back into the action faster and make a decision where it's like, hey, like this player's gonna come online pretty soon, like let me get back out there. And then I want to talk a little bit about dead assists. Dead assists? What are you talking about? Well, a big change we made is really allowing you to use your assists after they've been KO'd. You see Echo off screen only has 2 bars. So even though Echo's KO'd, Tom can still do assists, can do super assists. So he's still very much in the action. And we've actually just found that a lot more fun.
That's interesting. That seems like a big change. Again, talking about like the intuitive narrative thing, because it feels like intuitively, narratively, if you manage to take out your opponent's other character, it feels like they shouldn't be in the game anymore. Like that feels like you should get the reward of they now have lost a very significant tool in their toolbox. So the idea of like having the characters still be able to perform assists, at least their damage should be reduced or something. Like, it should at least be like a thing of like, if you call a dead assist, like, yeah, you'll get the knock-up or the hit stun or whatever, but you're not getting the damage from that. Like, that intuitively, that feels to me like that should be the balancing decision. But again, not a fighting game expert.
When you combine that with him being able to like push block with the team button, there's a lot to do, even if you accidentally get KO'd early. Are you going to go ahead and use this super assist? You're going to use it now and clutch out the round? You're going to waste it, and then your teammate's going to be like, oh my god, you should have saved it for the next round. Now that's your decision. That's you, and then that fight is yours to fight with your teammate as well. We still want there to be some counterplay, so like I said before, Tom, if you call your assist out, and you'll notice like that's a 7-second cooldown, and it's a long time.
Okay, there's the balance,
so
right? Like,
you
so
can get your window back to try to turn the tides.
that makes sense. Okay, so like when the assist is knocked out, the cooldown for the assist is going to be way longer. That makes sense.
Finally,
to me.
we felt like super jumps were too predictable and also received similar feedback in that vein. So as a result, we allow you to hold forward, back, or down to drift in these directions for a super jump, allowing you to keep your opponent guessing and have a bit more freedom in how you navigate a number of situations. So this is my regular super jump right here.
Right, super jump being the very tall jump. Okay.
Get that same distance and like hold it back. You can also hold down when you super jump to sort of affect the angle much more.
Okay, some
So we just
directional
want to
input
give,
then,
you know,
okay.
a little bit more
Or directional influence, I guess.
agency over your jump arc with super jumps.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a lot of work that we wanted to do in order to improve clarity and excitement, whether you're playing.
Now we're talking visuals. Like, visual clarity, again, I am still on the train that Jinx's animation snapping is too extreme, and the clarity suffers for it, but...
or spectating. It's also lined up with a ton of feedback that you all provide.
Because look at Jinx's walk cycle.
Improve clarity and
Yasuo
excitement,
finally gave us a little
whether
bit of
you're
walk cycle there.
Playing or spectating. It's also lined.
Right? You see Yasuo's walk cycle relative to the extreme change of Jinx's? There's still snap, right? Like, there's still a snap when he goes from this to this, from being, like, at rest to being up on his feet. But this is so much less extreme as he, like, moves into his walk animation. Relative to, like, the extreme snapping on Jinx. I really... Yeah, again, like maybe it's a fighting game clarity thing, I don't know, but I really do think they should take another couple of looks at the silhouetting and, like, the transition and the anticipation of Jinx's base movement, because some of it just snaps way too much for my... Like, relative to what I just saw there with Yasuo, where clearly they're... Yeah. I mean, it also... There's also an animation storytelling thing that happens there, right? Like, Yasuo is a slow, careful, methodical, disciplined fighter. So, like, of course, he's going to be more careful to keep his guard up and keep his stance when he's, like, going from a... And Jinx is a wild, chaotic fireball of just chaos and explosions. Of course, her transitions are going to be more chaotic, like, more wild. But I do think... Like, I'm still on the train that just feels bad to look at. I think the appeal is off on them.
Lined up with a ton of feedback that you all provided us around experiences with both. One note we heard was sometimes in a match, champions were too close together and it was pretty hard to tell what was happening. So as a result, we increased the collision pill size so that now they are more visually separated during combat.
That seems like a really good choice to me. Especially when you're working with 3D characters that have all this complex texturing and shit on them, because, like, that's definitely a thing I've felt in 2D fighting games before, is, like, when characters are, like, all up inside of each other with pixelated graphics, it can get a little bit, like, especially if they have, like, similar color palettes. So that, to me, seems like a good decision to make sure that the characters visually stay a little more separated. Although, again, balancing, right? Like, that does affect how close you can get to a character. Like, the hitbox, hurtbox then must have had to be altered as well, right, to accommodate that, because how close you can get to another character would affect what you can set up in terms of, like, the range of, like, a jab versus a long kick or whatever. Surely there must be something like that.
Assist cooldown. So we heard from you all that the location for the assist cooldown timer was too far from the action. So we centralized this around the match timer. That way it's easier to see in the middle than it is on the sides of the screen where it was before. Another thing that we heard were wall bounces were really fast and hard to follow up on. So we changed the animation for it and slowed it down a bit to make for easier
Boom.
combos. So
Ooh,
here, I'm gonna
that's
jump
good,
up
though.
so you can combo me.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
so
like that
Jinx right here is following
little EI strike thing from Yasuo animation there. That's really cool.
And she would have an Alpha Lab 1, so it just makes it a lot easier to follow up on. So handshake tag, we received a lot of feedback that handshake tag, while your assist was getting hit, was not only confusing but frustrating as well. So we just took that functionality out. So Tom, maybe. Yeah. Tom, you come, yeah. And then I'm gonna try to handshake tag and I can't.
Oh,
yeah. So get hit one more time.
yeah, that always faults.
Yeah. So I'm trying to handshake tag and I can't.
Smash it. Oh my God.
So bad block indicators. So we heard that sometimes it's really hard to understand how you got opened up, especially in hectic, heat of the moment battle. So we decided to add an indicator for incorrect blocking. So for example, I'm going to be blocking low here, and Sean's going to hit me high.
Let me just stand. Let me hit you with a normal low, just so you can see the
got
difference.
it.
So just stand there.
Yeah. So that's me getting hit normally, and then this is me, blocking high.
See the little yellow.
Oh, the little yellow
shards
flash. Oh, that's
coming
cool.
out.
I like that. Again, as a not fighting game player, like, the whole thing about knowing, like, visual feedback that tells you why something hit you versus why you were able to block it, that feels like a really good thing to have in the game to learn, like, so that you can learn through trial and error, like, okay, like that hits me when I do that, right? Having that visual indication, to me, feels like that would be a very nice feature for learning.
And same thing with overheads. And you can see here that we've actually, the colors are a bit more striking, whether it's high or low, so that you can tell the difference between getting hit high or low. So you'll know exactly why you got hit, and you'll be able to defend against those situations in the future.
I like that. I like that a lot.
When you do something amazing, you want to make sure that everyone in and out of the game knows it, and the height matches and skill required to reach this moment. So now a successful physical parry, we put some presentation on it, so yeah,
oh, that's nice.
Rare moment. So, we put some presentation on it. We added some time dilation. And some,
oops, missed that one.
And beyond.
I do like the posing on her parry, though. Like that she's literally just like butt checking, hip checking someone in the face. That's quite good.
We want to make sure that the
effects animation in this entire game is fantastic, by the way.
Covering up the champs as well, so clarity and presentation. Similarly, we've added new presentation.
Okay, sorry, I have to.
And we want to make sure that the effects.
Let me look a little bit more at the movement animation of Yasuo, because he did a little bit of a walk there for a moment.
Champs as well, so.
Yeah. Like, the forward is so smooth, it's so nice. And the backwards is like, there's a clear visual distinction between forwards and backwards motion. But notice how much less of a change there is in the silhouette versus when Jinx... Like, it's partly because of Fishbones. It's because of the fucking rocket launcher that's attached to her back. When she's standing in her normal pose front on, you have that huge part of the silhouette with the rocket launcher there. When she goes to walk forwards or backwards, the rocket launcher completely switches position. That's part of what makes her silhouette look so jarring relative to when Yasuo just kind of... Like, so much of the silhouette is kept identical, right? Like, he doesn't switch so that all of a sudden his sword sheath is gone from his silhouette, right? Like, it's still there. It's still doing the same thing for it.
Also, clarity and...
So you still get the snapping, right? Like, that snappiness that's meant to be there so that the player can instantly read whether a character is moving backwards or forwards or what they're doing. But it doesn't completely change the silhouette as much as this. Yeah, I really am on the train of like that. Like something has to be done about Jinx's movement.
Presentation. Similarly, we've added new presentation on the moment when you punish a retreating guard. So yeah, you block high and then. Oh. Okay, so as you can see, we have some. We're slowing down for additional hit pause as well. Some of the effects were, just...
Yeah. So punish a retreating guard, presumably. That's a specific thing where, like, if you sweep the leg, then that'll break a... Okay, cool. Again, I like having those visual indicators. Like, visual indicators for these gameplay mechanics so that I can figure out what the fuck they are and how to do them. I much appreciate it.
Yeah, it's also pretty cool since you have a little bit more time to hit confirm and see what you want to do. Yeah. So I'll show you. Code one. It's like call Darius to do something special there.
It's good.
There we go.
Yeah,
nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's
I like that.
Clarity, but also gives you a bit more time to confirm.
So now we get to talk about Jinx. Okay.
You guys have seen, like, Jinx is our newest champion. We are super excited.
Is that freckles on her face? It is. Freckles on her face. Interesting. Yeah, again, I'm struck by, like, both the ways in which this is clearly influenced by Arcane, but also all the ways in which it seems to be consciously rejecting Arcane. I can't tell if she has her mechanical finger, for one thing. She doesn't. Okay. Not sure about the arc on that hammer swing there. It feels like when it starts up here, it feels like it's supposed to come down around here and be sort of like a golf swing, or at least come in directly from the side. This feels a little bit like she's kind of intentionally swinging over your head, which I don't know, maybe that's part of what this animation is, but Okay. But I'm struck by the ways in which, like, it's both clearly emulating Arcane, it's trying to get something from Jinx's popularity in Arcane, but it's definitely also taking some different swings. Like, that's a very different face on Jinx than she has in Arcane. Different makeup, too. Like, different makeup styles. She looks a lot less tired. A lot less tired and traumatized. That's one of the major changes they've made. She looks happier, healthier, more moisturized in her lane, thriving, right? Like, and obviously they were never going to be able to fully replicate like the Fortiche painted texture style that made those faces so lifelike, but like this definitely looks like a much healthier Jinx overall, which is like that is a choice. Like the makeup is kind of doing bags under the eyes a little bit, but it's not matched with any like lines under the eyes or any like like signs of tiredness in her expression or blemishes on the skin that can sort of like actually emphasize this idea that she's both manic and very exhausted by her manic episode. It's a character design thing, like, and part of that I'm sure is for clarity. Like, it's also in a fighting game like 2XKO. I'm sure there are things in terms of the visual clarity of the character design that you just can't do a bunch of things that you'd be able to do in something like Arcane. But it is interesting to me the ways in which this Jinx both matches and absolutely does not match Arcane at all.
Excited. She is our take on a zoner character. It's really important that we have a broad variety of archetypes, and this is our first like true like sort of keep you out and frustrate your character. She's like a genius inventor. She's created all these gadgets, and
did she just kick
fight and keep
one of her gadgets into Echo's face? That's cool. Hang on, wait, sorry.
Gadgets, and she uses them to fight and keep you at bay.
They didn't do that, right? I saw that wrong, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's just zoom this back a sec. Oh no, but they simulated it. Okay. For a second I thought they were fully like distorting fish bones for this animation, like really turning them into rubber for a second in order to complete the motion, but no, they're just kind of doing it with some very well-placed follow-through on the thing. Okay.
To at bay and frustrate you. She's all about disruption, chaos, explosions, and just has a lot of fun doing it. And her game plan is basically to kind of and keep you at bay and
hang on, I need
you.
to see that.
She's
I need to see that Super
chaos.
Mega Death Rocket thing again. Yeah, see, here is definitely some more copying from Arcane, like the specific monkey iconography, the way that she does her graffiti. That's more Arcane than it is League of Legends in a lot of ways. Interesting mixture of influences.
In chaos,
and I gotta say, I do have a fondness for the facial animation and expression animation that 2XKO has shown so far. Like, they are willing to push the characters and caricature them quite nicely. In a way that I quite appreciate. Painted background on this.
Just has a lot of fun doing it.
Very nice, like instantly swapping from like a clear blue sky to the moment it fires, everything goes red. Very good.
Fun doing it. And
really like the rendering on the Super Mega Death Rocket. Like, it's so rendered that it really does look like it's a 2D sprite coming down on the field. That's very well done.
The plan is basically to kind of fill the screen with garbage and stay one step ahead of you, frustrate you, confuse you, and yeah.
Oh, people are gonna cosplay this Black Jinx with green accents.
Just take you down that way.
Well, Black Jinx, black clothes Jinx with green accents.
God, I love her. Her taunts are so good. I'll start with her normals. You know, she's got a little light, medium, heavy. And she's got her little crouch light, medium, heavy. Her down forward light's a little slide, you know, to get some distance. And then, you know, she's got like a running medium attack, which is, you know, low and you can combo.
Yeah, looking at the animations, like, the dash animation is much better eased. Like, there's a much better transition between her dash animation and her idle than there is between... Just because it has those couple of little transitional frames. It's the walk animation specifically that bothers me, and I wonder if that's just because you're not going to see the walk animation nearly as often. I don't know.
Off of it, which is really cool. So she can go in, you know, she's not just keep you out forever. Like, you might want to pick your spots to go in. She's also got down forward heavy, you know, which is an overhead, and you know, she can
hammer space. Very good. Hang on, I need to... What do they do with the hammer? Do they just stash it? Yeah, they just stash it. That's very good. You see, it just shrinks down and disappears like that. That's cool.
And do some stuff there. But yeah, she's got like a couple things here, and one thing I want to call out too is her M's all use her zapper, and that will actually come into play with how it interacts with her kit, which I'll go over in a second. I want to talk about her specials. So she's bringing out Pow Pow, and she's shooting that machine gun. The cool thing is, as you saw, mine only did 6 hits, but Clock's did 12. It's because you can hold it. So if you just want to hold it and grind it out, you can, which is really fun. You can also hold up to extend it. And so you can hold it and then hold up and hold it, and you can get.
And then it
20
becomes
hits
like a
out of this
launcher.
thing, which is pretty fun. You know, we'll talk about like yeah. That's a really cool point as well. One of Jinx's unique abilities is that she can cancel her S1s into her S2. And so her S2 is missile, and she can cancel this on hit or block into missile. You can lift them up and then cancel into a missile and things like that.
Oh,
so,
interesting.
She
So
does
like
have a
she
lot
can
of opportunities to
she can
use,
like snap
both
into
her
like using. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, again, Jinx being like a multi-weapon user, she uses lots of weapons and gadgets. I like that visually, that she can like swap between using the gun and the rocket launcher like that. That emulates how she is in League of Legends too.
S1 or S2 specials together. Talking a little bit, she has a back S1, which is a nice little like anti-air spread, which again, you can combo this into missile like when they jump in and try to follow up, which is really cool. She's got an air S1, so she's grinding it out mid-air, which is really cool as well. And you can, again, combo that into missile. So I'll go ahead and just like, just show you real quick. You can cancel it right away.
Oh,
so,
cool.
That is unique
I
to
like
her.
that.
All right, let's talk about her S2 specials. So that's her rocket. She's shooting that out of her awesome weapon, Fishbones. You can shoot one on the ground. You can shoot it in the air. You can also hold it, which takes a second to come out, but then it flies out really fast. She can also
Does it
shoot
increase the
down
damage?
while she's in the air.
Ooh, good.
And this hits you. It also hits OTG, so you can do some cool, fun stuff with that. She's also got down S2, which is a rocket jump.
I like that.
Shooting it
I like
down,
that she has a
down
rocket
forward, or
jump.
down
That's
back.
cool.
So it's a really unique-
Why did my subtitles get so tiny all of a sudden, by the way? Why? What did I do? Did I do something? Did I click a hotkey? What happened?
movement option that she can act out of, and it also hits OTG, so you can find some fun stuff with that. And then she has
Yeah, like, besides the walk animation, which it still bothers me. The snapping there feels too extreme. But besides that, she looks damn good in motion.
back S2. So you might notice this meter just above the super bars with her zapper. When it's full, you hit back S2. She shoots a zapper projectile, and this thing lights you up, electrifies you, and you get a free follow-up. I know you're trying to go for that zapper combo. Look, we definitely got that on tape, all right? Also, I want to talk a lot about, like, her traps,
Yes.
and how her kind of kit like revolves around and interacts with them. So the first thing is she's got chompers. You do this with forward S1, and you tap it, and it has this little patrol of like front back, and then after a bit of time it explodes. Again, for counterplay, if you hit her or she blocks, like, it goes away. You can also just knock that thing away with projectiles or attacks, and it'll disappear. Then she can also hold
cool.
forward S1 and throw the chomper, and that's actually really cool. You notice the eyes are completely off when she's throwing it. It's not active. So go ahead and throw it at me, Clock. So even though it hit me, it's still on the ground active. But then once it's active, if it touches you, it's gonna lock on. It's gonna explode after a little bit of time.
Oh,
so the
I'm
name of the
interested
game
in
is,
this.
like, do you put it out? But then do you use your buttons in really cool ways?
There
to
doesn't
get
seem
it
to be a
over speed,
cooldown on it,
right?
just like a
And
limit on
so,
how many you can have on
you know,
screen.
like when you look
Okay.
at this like Crouch M, or you look at this S1, there's a lot of ways you can interact with chompers. Yeah, you can do stuff like that. That's actually ridiculous.
Oh, that looks annoying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. And so, and another really cool thing too is her assists. Speaking of chompers, you know, when you do team, that calls chompers, and you notice it attaches on block even, and they have to, like, you can parry the explosion, but it's something they really have to pay attention to. And then of course her back assist is
rocket.
S2.
Yeah,
Was
makes
that
sense.
a parry attempt that I saw there?
Maybe.
That's yeah. Okay, let's see. We're gonna give you a chance. Okay, we got there. That's like one of her little traps. Another one is monkey. So you do this with down S1, and she puts this monkey out, and it'll go across the screen. And once it reaches the champion, it explodes, the enemy champion. However, you can hit the down S1 again, and she can raise or lower the height, which is really fun.
Oh, interesting.
And as Tom mentioned before, hey, hitting the chompers with like, you know, her specials and normals, you can do the same thing with monkey as well. You can smack it. They kind of bounce into each other, and then like you could do stuff like this.
There's some
Here, I'll go
fun
ahead and reset
interactions
it,
there with the
to
fucking
middle.
the monkeys and
So
chompers.
just don't move. Sorry. So don't move at all. So you can do stuff like this. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can try it. Wait a second.
Ooh.
So,
Oh, that's cool.
So there's a lot of really clever things you can.
You can, yeah, you can that looks like. I'm just thinking through like the visuals of like, because that also does make really good sense with Jinx as a character. Like this idea of it's not just that she throws out a projectile or a gadget or a thing. It's also, yeah, she can smack that thing around because she doesn't care about it. Like she can enact violence on her own tools because that's what Jinx do. Yeah, that makes sense.
Do with it, like, and it really depends on your timing and how you execute there. But another cool thing that you can do with the monkey is that you can actually charge it with your zapper, and so that's your zapper special.
Yeah, I was curious about that. What do you mean charge it?
Also your M button. So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. So if you hit it, it actually like gets charged. It goes faster,
and
then
it stuns.
It's gonna like quickly electrify them. You get a combo afterwards,
Oh,
which is really
that's
fun.
nasty.
Same if you do this with the zapper. And maybe that hits, maybe it doesn't. You know, we'll see if you can time it better than I can. But again, this one's a little interesting. That's really durable. Projectile, so if you just you hit it with a normal attack, it'll kill it. But try to shoot rockets at it. Yeah, so the projectiles just push it back, really. And
interesting.
So that's one of the strengths compared to chompers, which just gets destroyed by everything. And so I want to talk a little.
Oh, I like. Just again, I don't know shit about playing fighting games, but just narratively, visually, in terms of like the kit as an expression of the character, I really like this.
A little bit about her supers. So her S1 super, which you remember, it's S1 plus any normal. So we're gonna do S1 and L. She puts this big rocket in there, and a bunch of fireworks occur. So a really cool thing
Mortar,
you can do is
yeah.
you can just like run up and do like light, medium, heavy, hold S1, up S1, and then do her S1 super and get that rocket going.
Boom!
And this is a really fun super because if you can get them in the sweet spot of the explosions, that's what it does a ton of damage.
Yeah, it was like half a health bar.
Also,
Jesus.
you know, it's good to catch jumpers. And another thing I want to talk about a little bit as well is her S2 super. So this one is she takes that zapper and charges it and shoots.
Yeah, fucking Cyclops laser beam.
It doesn't do as much damage as the fireworks in the sweet spot, but it's great for killing assists, you know, and hitting like multiple people at once. Also, once you activate it, after the activation, you can hold up and angle it
nice.
upwards. So you can do it, and if someone tries to jump, you can react during that freeze. You can also shoot it straight in the air or straight down, as Clock showed. And we'll see if we can get this guy going.
So easy.
I'm just really bad at this game. Jesus. There we go. I was doing the wrong one. I was doing S1. And so yeah, you can shoot that down. You can shoot it straight. See, he tried to parry. Oh, let's see if he can parry this thing. Hold on. Let's see if he can parry this. Let's see. You do hate to see a misplay.
That's a bit of a Chun-Li parry thing there. Then okay.
Misplay, but we like the attempt. If you all can parry that, send me a clip. Send us all a clip. We want to see it. And you better not whiff at the end either. It has to be like a parry and a punish. That aside, though, there's a lot of, as you can see, there's a lot of utility with the beam. You have S1 plus S2, which is her ult. This is
the super mega death
really
rocket.
sick.
Yeah.
So she hits this button, lets it rip, and this thing comes down and explodes and does a lot of damage.
So how do you make sure that that thing hits? Like, because you would want to set it up with some kind of a combo, right? Like where I guess, launch them into midair, call the rocket, it hits them in the air, it drags them to the ground, and then explodes. That would be the idea.
Tracks the opponent's location a little bit, and that super mega death rocket will land like right in front of them. But also, its height doesn't change, so if like they're in the air, it will hit them in the air as it's falling, which is really cool. We'll see if we can maybe manufacture that. Hit that button. Man. Yeah, so you see it
Yeah, so the idea would be
down,
launch
which is
the
really cool as
opponent and
well.
then, yeah.
And yeah, I showed you a little bit of the assist. I do want to show you the super assist, which is pretty cool. So she shoots a big
Oh, that's nice.
spread. And you know, some of
I
our,
do love a fucking
super
rocket
assists,
barrage.
They do look like existing supers in the game, but you know, sometimes we want to be a little bit different, and you know, we're definitely experimenting with a lot of different shapes here, because it's a pretty fun moment when you come back and the assist helps and gets through it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and reset. We'll go ahead and set the health, so I can show you a little bit about like a couple combos, maybe just to kind of like.
Yeah, no,
introduce
show me.
this
I want to
I'll
see.
go ahead and start with a really fun one that uses a couple of her traps. So you can throw the chompers out, throw this out, zap, wait for the explode.
Oh, the
throw it
chompers
out,
get charged
hit
up by the...
beam. Let's see if I timed it right. Oh, I messed it up. I hit double down. I was mashing.
It takes a bit more precision.
It
than
does
that.
take a little more precision. I do have the
Okay,
double down.
I'm into
We'll give it
this.
one more try and we'll see if we can do it. Let's see if we can try it. Okay, so we'll do this. We'll do this. That. Wait for the chompers to explode. Throw it.
Double electric
If I can hit
chompers.
Oh, you got
Oh, I didn't do it.
too soon.
I did it too early, but you get the
Show
idea.
some basic stuff.
Yeah, maybe
we can
start
go
with
to
something
Yeah,
basic.
absolutely. So one cool thing you can do is like
That's a little like, maybe you should start with something easier. What a thing to say.
I said before, down forward heavy is her overhead, and you can.
I
do
love,
something like
I
that,
do
where you
like the
can-
bounce back.
Some bread and butters.
Yeah, absolutely. So one cool thing you can do is
Show me that hammer again. I need to...
like I said before, down.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. The wind up, the charge, and then slam down. Like the way they trace that arc, and then how she bounces up off the ground with the hammer like that, and then lands. Oh, that's a really smooth animation. I like
Forward
that.
heavy is her overhead, and you can do something like that where you can do a rocket jump, immediately like cancel that into her Air S1, and then go right into the laser.
Yeah, one of the bread and butters I use is just sort of like a mid-screen combo that I showed earlier, which is oh, wrong super.
Second hit.
I don't think so. But you can do it with yours average charged.
Oh yeah. Let me go. Yeah. So it's just like light, medium, heavy, full hold, canceling a rocket, zap.
Into zap,
If I was a little quicker, should we get the full? Oh, we got the full. We get the full. Let's see you do it.
I'm gonna aim it up.
Ooh,
There you
nice.
go. That's nice. I'll go ahead and yeah, like the one I think is the most fun is really just like light, medium, heavy. Hold this, lift it up, and then do the fireworks. The cool thing is you can start setting up. So I'm putting a monkey out. I'm throwing a chompers, and there's like already stuff coming at him on the screen. Yo, how dare you hit that thing down?
Get it
That's
outta here.
disrespectful.
Not monkey.
Let me go ahead and I want to show you like.
It really does look fun. It really does look fun. That's the problem, right? Like it's that little League of Legends themed devil that's perched in my head. That little parasite that has attached to the base of my brainstem. This to me just looks so much more fun than Street Fighter, than Guilty Gear, than Skullgirls, than any of the other fighters, just because I have a relationship with these fucking characters. Like, I have a relationship with them. They have a space in my heart, sort of, already. So even if this isn't, like, the greatest fighting game ever, even if there are many other better fighting games out there, this just appeals to me. Like, I can feel myself getting drawn into the fun of this in a way that I just kind of haven't been with a lot of other fighting games ever before. It's very annoying that this fucking franchise has buried itself into my soul this way. Especially when I kind of want to disengage from most of what Riot is doing nowadays. Like, fucking gotcha mechanics. Jesus Christ. That's the other thing about 2XKO, right? It's only a matter of time. Like, shitification has come for League of Legends. It'll come for the rest of them. Like, it's been in TFT for a while. Like, Wild Rift, because it's a mobile game, is indulging in it rapidly. Shitification will come for 2XKO as well. Like, at some point, Riot are gonna bring down, like right now, 2XKO, because it's a product in development, much in the same way that Legends of Runeterra was. Like, because it's a product in development, because it hasn't launched yet, because it just needs to get out into the market and get big, Riot hasn't hyper-monetized it yet. They don't have any reason to. But eventually, they're gonna. eventually the hammer is gonna come down from Tencent and from like the purse string holders at Riot HQ and from the like from the shareholders that we've spent all this money on 2xKO. Now we need to see like we need to make back double our money. Now it needs to like now we need to make back not just some money, not just a little bit of profit. We need to make back all of the profit, all of the money. We need to achieve the absolute maximum possible amount of money as fast as possible so that we can demonstrate growth to our shareholders. And that's going to come for 2xKO as well. Like, that's going to happen. Like, the fucking cosmetics that are going to get introduced, the whatever monetization system, like, they've said it's just going to be cosmetics, right? So, like, I fully expect gacha costumes at some point. Maybe not at launch. Like, at launch, they're probably going to want to hold off on that so as not to put players off with excessive monetization. But, like, they're going to do gacha costumes at some point. They're going to do it. Like, they're going to do gacha costumes. They're going to do something where, like, oh, you want a slightly better fuse? Like, well, no. Riot are probably too smart to ever do pay for power, but cosmetics? There's going to be a gacha system. There's going to be, like, $120 fucking ultra premium cosmetic bullshit fuck shit going on. They're going to do it. It's going to happen eventually because it's Riot Games, and this is what Riot Games does. Like, this is the consequence of their business model. And because the whole economic system surrounding gaming is predicated on infinite growth forever, which, you know, is not a thing that can happen. But chasing that, they will inshitify it. So 2xKO is probably going to be another one of those that I'll play it when it comes out. Maybe I'll get into it. Maybe I'll get hooked because it is this fucking IP universe that I'm so attached to. But I'm already now sort of pre-experiencing the grief that, like, eventually, no matter how good it is, no matter how much fun, no matter how good the community, eventually, they're going to have to inshitify it. They're going to have to, because that's the only way to make the money that they're going to be looking for from their investors and their shareholders.
Two more really fun combos again, just to kind of get the juice flowing. These are pretty hard. They took me some time to practice. I didn't make these up. Shout out to the team that made them up. So one of the things I wanted to show off was this unique normal she has, back heavy. And this is cool because it puts her airborne. So you can shoot a missile right after it, and you can do a lot of really cool stuff after it. So I want to kind of show you one thing that's cool, and we'll see if we can get it here.
Oh, that is really cool. That's another half a fucking health bar. Jesus. And more, because then the rock... Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of damage.
In conjunction with all of her traps is just what really, like, makes her fun, you know, to a lot of us, and we're excited to see you all, like, dig into it. I'll leave you off with just one more. This one's, like, pretty hard for me, and so I'm gonna need a lot of tries. I'm gonna need some cheering from y'all to see if we can get this.
Okay, show me.
This one I'm gonna... thank you. I'm gonna try to use Darius assist and use some traps here, so we'll see how it goes. All right, that didn't get there.
And then the monkey zapper, and then the fish boat. Oh,
We did it. Let's go. All right.
Oh, that is very cool.
I'm glad I got that.
Playing against that and getting hit by that must be genuinely frustrating and infuriating in a really fun way.
I'm glad I got that. I'm sweating a little bit. You know, shouts to the team. Loving how Jinx looks. There's just so many crazy interactions that you all can come up with here, and
yeah, the kit looks really cool.
Really break it open.
So should we like play some matches?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously though, those avatars, like that's oh man, that sucks. That looks so basic. That looks so boring. Like, what, you can just put them in tech wear? Like, come on, man. Like, you gotta let people at least be a yordle. Like, you gotta at least let them have animal ears. You gotta let them be fucking ascended. Like, you need to, like, let the furries in, first of all, but also just, like, mermaids. And there's so many creatures in League of Legends, and all you got is, like, little stubby, like, 12-year-old looking ass semi-cheapy humans. Like, come on, this has to be better. But that's, again, that makes me think, oh, right, monetization, because they're gonna do the Fortnite thing. They're gonna do the Fortnite thing. They're gonna do the Fortnite thing where if you want your avatar to look cool, if you want your avatar to be a Yordle or a Vestaya or fucking an Ascended or whatever, that'll be the thing on the fucking rotating storefront, won't it? That'll be the thing on the storefront. That'll be like... There was a period, I don't know if it's still happening, where there was a genuine social problem in a lot of schools because kids were insulting each other by saying, oh, you're a default, right? Like, meaning that when you play Fortnite, you use the default skin because you're too poor to be able to afford to pay for a cool cosmetic. That's sort of a distillation of... Like, if there's a talk online from a marketer who works in, like, mobile game monetization, where he talks about, like, one of the purposes of cosmetics, like, one of the purposes of cosmetics, and especially limited availability, is to induce in the community a social expectation that you will use your cosmetics to show off, right? Like, that when you show up for a game, you need to have a cool cosmetic. And if you don't have a cool cosmetic, then you're kind of lame, right? Like, then you kind of suck. That's not cool. Showing off your cool cosmetic, that's cool. That makes you like, oh, fuck, that guy has, like, the cool skin or whatever, the limited edition thing, right? That kind of... There's a very active development process that happens especially in mobile gaming, but in a lot of gaming, of actively trying to induce FOMO, introduce the fear of missing out, induce a social stigma against not using paid cosmetics, because that increases the amount of players who feel pressured, especially younger people who feel pressured to use cosmetics in order to fit in, right? They're going to do that with this shit, aren't they? Like, it's going to be the same thing. Like, oh, you don't want to pay for cosmetics? Okay, here's a shit-ass bucket hat and some ugly-ass techwear. Have fun being a default. All your friends are going to be over here with their cool cosmetics, where they get to look cool and be Vestaya and be Yordles and be fucking Ascended and be mermaids and whatever. And you're going to be there like this lame-ass, garbage-looking, absolute fucking nothing burger of a crap avatar with garbage tier clothing on. And you're going to look shit as fuck, and everyone else is going to be looking fresh. Like, that's how they're going to do it. That's how they're going to fucking shitify it, isn't it? I see the future just laid out in front of me, and it's depressing. Great. Oh, well.
Let's do it.
Matches.
Yeah, I was figuring we could actually do this.
Oh, hang on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, Mega Bundle, Pool Party. Featured. There's the FOMO mechanics, right? Daily store, featured store, only a limited time. Oh, you can't get them for long. You have to buy them now. Buy them now before they go away. They're going to go away forever, maybe. You don't know if you're ever going to see them again. Buy them now. The FOMO is already there. It's already the fucking Fortnite FOMO store bullshit. The monetization of this game is going to suck so bad. It's going to suck so bad. Like, and I know Street Fighter isn't fucking great about it either. I've seen Street Fighter players complaining about the ways that Capcom monetizes that franchise, but like, oh, I'm getting depressed thinking about it already. But hey, I mean, maybe I can do some shorts reviewing the cosmetics and skins. Maybe I can get some views out of that. Plus, some of them do look good. Like, some of them do look interesting. I'm sure there's something to talk about there artistically. It's just... thinking about the manipulation and the ways in which this shit is going to be monetized and the pressure tactics that are going to be used to make players pay as much money as fucking possible. I mean, it's a free-to-play game. You kind of have to expect it, but it's still depressing. Players first. Player first. That's the right philosophy. Put the players first, specifically their wallets.
Yeah, I was figuring we could actually do this in the new ranked lobby that we're cooking up. Everything
oh my
we run through
god,
today
it's so ugly.
and more.
This fucking thing. It's not just the outfit, right? Like, the outfit is rancid. This is, oh my god. But the fucking this little shit-ass avatar is so ass. God, that looks horrible. Like, relative to the stylization, to the sleekness, to, like, how well-composed everything else is, even the color scheme of this little motherfucker, like, just the way his skin tone is, like, the color tone of that, and, like, the lighting on the side of him, it just mismatches the environment so bad. Jesus Christ.
Lab 2. That playtest is going to run from April 18th
That's genuinely
to 20th
terrible.
In the United States, Canada, and Brazil.
Okay, so you can have some animal ears. No Yordles, though. That doesn't seem to be an option. And I get from, like, a production perspective that you want to have every player avatar have the same model, because then you can sell custom poses and gestures and, like, stuff, like, you can sell emotes and stuff that all work on exactly the same animation rig, but, like, this is fucking Riot Games we're talking about. You have infinity $billion. Shell out a little bit and let people be Yordles. Like, come on.
We really want to know how these changes are landing for you compared to Alpha Lab 1, so be sure to tell us what you think if you're invited. As we continue to put together this game and
These
understand our
avatars
path
look so
along,
shit.
we'll be sure to keep you in the loop, so
They all look so shit. They look so bad. Oh, man.
stay tuned for updates when we're ready. Can't say exactly when that will be, but I promise we're going to keep you guys well informed
Ooh,
as
Night
we
Braum.
understand more. For now, let's
Ooh, I don't know that I like the color scheme. That might be an alternate color scheme for the skin, but that yellow mustache versus that sort of desaturated purple on the shield, that does not look great to me. I feel like that yellow should be desaturated into a more natural blonde if you're going to have that color scheme
go into
going.
those show matches, huh? Let's go. All right, thanks.
There better not be rules to this.
I guess this would be a Jinx legendary-ish kind of skin. Doesn't look bad.
I wander, but you are lost.
Pink Yasuo.
Let's go!
How the hell is Yasuo dead already? Hang on, wait, what happened?
Together this game and we're ready to understand.
What took out... No, his health is just gone now. Why? Oh, it's the... Right. It's they have the system. They have the system in the game where you can choose to have only one character and then your one character is stronger. And then the assist character is only there for assists versus being able to tag in. That's what it is, right? So if you have like a main that you prefer to play, you can use them and then, like, yeah, okay. That'll be why, I assume. Ooh. Yeah, I'm still kind of on the color scheme for that Braum skin isn't looking right. But damn, there's a lot of good animation in here. Ooh. Ow. Ow, ow. Oh, he's taking some damage there. Jesus. Oh, there's a lot of cool animation going on in here. Is that a new Darius skin, or is that just the pool party skin? Hang on. I'm not gonna watch through the entire set of show matches, but... No, it's just the pool party skin, but with pink all over it. Okay, I like this color scheme for that skin kind of better, actually. The red and yellow. Nice parry. Like, the red and yellow for that particular skin. Maybe that's the base color scheme, because that looks pretty fucking cohesive. Okay, cool. Is there an Ilaoi in here somewhere? There is! She's wearing that pink skin. And it changes the colors of the tentacles, as you might expect. Good. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. It looks good. It really does. It looks good. I'm genuinely excited to play it. I genuinely am. I don't know if I'm gonna be a dedicated player of it, but at the very least, I'll download and install it just to appreciate the animation and the effects work and so much of the background art that they're making for this. Because there's a lot of good craft going into this. There really is. I'm just gonna have to try and not depress myself by thinking about all the ways in which Riot is gonna fuck this up eventually. Well. Anyway, I just wanted to look at some 2xKO stuff today, so bye.